Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feisty Chess. I'm playing a 10-5 game against Enigmatic88 on leechess.org. Let's play e4 as always. We have a Sicilian. I'm going to play my Smith-Morra Gambit. I've been playing this a lot lately. So we'll go d4. The idea is to push c3 after he takes and trade 2 pawns for 1. Okay. Black wants to decline this by pushing d3. This is a good way to play against the Morra. Unfortunately, it's not that as much fun, but what we're going to do is we're going to build the Maroczy Bind and play c4, even though it took us 2 tempo to do that. We're going to clamp down on d5. Okay, we can play knight f3. Yeah, this is an unusual setup. Usually black goes for d6, and then you can get the bishop out. And I'll usually have to spend a tempo to play h3 to prevent the bishop coming to g4. Okay. He's really weakened his dark squares here. I'm just going to castle and see what black does. Okay, he doesn't want me to play bishop g5, but I made him spend a tempo to do that. This bishop usually wants to be on e3. d4 is my weak spot. And let's get this rook off the bishop's long diagonal. We're preventing b5 for now, thanks to our bishop being here. Okay, we're going to bring our queen here. This other rook will probably come to d1. We can slide our bishop back here if he tries something like knight b4. Okay. I just make that bishop move right away. Clear that file. I should probably bring my king's rook to d1. I'm just considering moving this rook in case this rook wants to be here. I'll push f4. Okay. Black is holding up on the king side. Is way down in development. And the nice thing about this line is I'm not down a pawn. Let's just oppose our rook with black's queen. Might think about bishop c5 next to try to plant my bishop on d6. Okay, that looks especially appealing now. Also try knight to d4 with this plan of f4, but that seems less effective without a rook behind that pawn. But it does grab up more central space. Yeah, I really like the look of bishop c5 here. I don't see how he breaks with his d-pawn ever. I'll plant my bishop on d6 with tempo. He doesn't have any discoveries with his knight, because if he tries to unleash this queen against my bishop, playing, say, knight here, I just grab with the bishop. If he plays here, then I fork, he has to trade. And then I'm giving up this pawn, but I think good things are happening. I'm just going to go for it. Bishop is loose on c5. No, the knight will be loose on e7 in those lines. So, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, black usually wants to play d6 in these lines, both to get this bishop out and to make sure this isn't stuck. This isn't a weakness here on d7. Okay. We'll go ahead and continue with planting our bishop on d6. I wonder if e5 is good here, preventing him from playing e5. And wanting to bring the bishop to e4. Yeah. One of the problems with this system is that the bishop can often get blocked behind. If black gets e5 in, the bishop can get blocked behind. Here we go. That pawn on e4. And now that bishop is looking straight at the enemy king. And I've got ideas like maybe h4, h5, since this pawn is pinned. And this knight can't yet jump out to this weak square I've weakened because he's pinned. But like I said, I've also got this idea of pinning this knight with bishop e4. Excuse me. I also have ideas of knight to e4. So just all the plans are whites in this position. Knight to e4. I could sink a knight onto f6, and he'd have to give up his dragon bishop there. I suppose he wouldn't have to, but okay. You've created a weakness, I think. I think I'm still going to advance bishop to e4. I'm threatening to win material, actually, and he can't go f5. Both knights are pinned, and they're quite awkward. I think he might need to go rook f7 or rook e8 here to defend this knight and break the pin with these moves. Okay. The bishop would need to take if I took here. Taking there makes sense now. Because if I go with h4, this other idea immediately, then he's got f5. And now I'm not winning material if I take. So I'm going to open this position since his queenside is still asleep. And yeah, he'll have to take with the bishop. Is a rook lift a little too ballsy here? Because once he gets knight f5 and he's hitting that bishop on d6. I don't think I need to worry about that, though. I'll trade that bishop. I can also just move it. It also clears a spot. That bishop. Let's go with h4. Happens to create some luft for the future as well. I'm going to shoot Harry the h-pawn down the board. And if he plays h5, then I've got a nice check knight g5, which will force him to trade off that bishop. We've still got a nice clamp on d5, especially if he moves that knight on e7. Yep. My light square bishop is my best piece here. I'm not going to trade that off. Actually, pushing my pawn, he can take. Oh, but that has to be good for me, doesn't it? Pushing the pawn now, I'm looking at push, take. And it opens up the g file for him to attack. He's not going to be able to do that with just a rook. And he can't actually take here because I've got this fork if his knight abandons f5. Yeah, that light square bishop and the king on h7, that's really working out in my favor here. He takes, and I still think taking is the... he could play rook g8, rook g7, I mean. I need to get this other knight active. He does take. Okay. This is a piece sack, but it doesn't lead to anything, does it? Oh, hang on. He takes with the bishop, and now I'm hitting the rook and the bishop. So his best move is probably to desperado, take f2, king takes f2, and then move the rook. Maybe rook back so he keeps an eye on f5. And I've got that dark square bishop, and he's, yeah, I like the look of that. Okay, this knight. Okay, yeah, it's knight h4. Just to hit h5 with my queen. This should allow me to keep some initiative here. Whew. I will be sacking a pawn if black goes for the take. If he goes for the bishop f2 line here. But he can't defend both pieces. Ooh, king g7 appears to defend some pieces, doesn't it? But then I have bishop takes f5. Yeah. And I'll get the bishop next. He could complicate things. He could still go up a pawn there. But I gotta imagine that my remaining pieces are way better than his remaining pieces way over here. I mean, look at these four, especially this rook and bishop. It's just totally useless. My rooks are ready to come in the game quickly. This knight, once this bishop moves, this knight can jump in. I hope I'm not being I'm hoping I'm not playing hope chess here and just overestimating my chances to make myself feel better. Bishop c5 is also a threat here. If he goes rook f6. Oh, I could actually skewer because everything is pinned. This is an interesting line. Well, an interesting idea, I should say. Okay, he's going for this. I think I should take. And I might have to just come back to g8 with my king. Actually, this does. I might want to come to h. This might allow me to bring a rook to h1. Okay, thankfully that knight is still pinned. But there might be tactics here. He might be able to unleash this knight. I don't see any good way for him to do it. My bishop is protected. If I should need to take this queen, he might have a tactic to win my queen. I'm on his rook right now, and that's key. So now if rook here. Okay. Protects the rook. Now bishop takes f5 is no good. Do you have any really good discoveries with that knight? I don't see any really good ones. Oh, knight takes d6 is the good one. Okay. Maybe just checking with the queen. Let's just get our king out of there. Probably the best move. His queenside is just completely still shut down. It's I don't even have to be in a hurry here. I can just patiently bring a rook to f1. Bishop to c5 is an important threat. Oh. Okay. Maybe I should have thrown that check in. But he's giving up, honestly, his best piece here. Keep our check here in reserve. Keep that pawn blockaded. Keep that queenside totally shut out of the game. Whew. This has to be good. This has to be good for white. So we're going to pursue these checks. We can grab up that pawn on h6 with a check. Maybe even better here is to just play rook f1, make him trade that off. And then his king is kind of defenseless. It's the only piece of his that's doing anything. So yeah, let's do it. We've always got this as an intermediate move, so if the knight wants to come here and attack our queen with a discovery, we can just move out of that and then... Oh no. That's terrible. Yeah, okay. I don't have a way of blocking that check. That doesn't just lose here, do I? Okay. Rook takes. What have I got at that point? What do I have? He's got queen g1 coming. So that's probably not the end of the world. The world might already be ended, actually. Let's do this. Threatening queen f. It's a good threat, right? Ooh, this is bananas. He's up a rook and a pawn. Okay, he doesn't have any checks now. Any good ones, anyway. Oh, he does. He has a very good one. Whew, I'm so terrible lately. Yeah, good game. Enigmatic 88. Well, it's a good game for me for the first half, but he who wins the second half of the game is the game's winner. Ouch. It's going to hurt to post this one, guys. And if we look at the analysis board, ooh, it's going to show huge advantage for us. Probably like a mate and 6 at some point. Come on, computer, where are you at? Computer probably already likes white a lot here because black has weakened his dark squares. And I never did have like a formal material advantage, but wow, did I. Look at this point, +8. He likes bishop takes f5 here. And then knight to d5. Oh, that does work. That makes a lot of sense. I was in love with that bishop on e4, though. This is fine. This is still +5. King takes h5, yep. King takes f2. What about here? Bishop f4. Strange move. But still, King G1 is fine, just as good, pretty much. Rook takes D6. Now black is making a threat. Rook F1 here is good. King F8. There we go. Wow, is that a terrible move? The worst move you could make. Hold on. A move earlier. This works. This Rook F1 idea works. What if this check comes in? C5. Oh, look at this. Now our queen is covering along the 5th rank. That's not something I saw at all. So now here, king takes F1. And it looks like there's no defense. I has to go queen C5. What if he just tries to get his pieces out? Oh, rook takes D7 leads to mate. What if trying to get this knight in the game, preventing this check? Queen E8. Huh. Queen threatening the knight on E7. Now queen takes C5, but still queen takes E7, and we got a mate. Okay, the long distance check. Not seeing a check. I should have. Oh, I really should have checked. Always check. It might be mate. Always check the checks, right? Always check. Here, okay, C5, just to prevent those checks. And then maybe rook F1 makes sense. Because what is black going to do? Black has nothing. He's got one piece. Can barely move itself. Probably this is winning too. This idea. I didn't like king to E7 here. But yeah, C5 will just shore that up, and we're going to check that thing next. I always have C5. Yeah, I should have just played C5. Even back when black played this, I mean, C5 is probably just a perfectly good way of proceeding to keep black shut down. But I got too low on time. Okay, the 10-minute games. I'm used to playing longer games on my computer. I play a lot of faster games on my phone, but when I broadcast these games, it's on my computer. So, okay. A really good game. Attack fell apart thanks to time trouble. Seen it a million times. Still working on it. Stay feisty, everyone.